Hello everybody, Dr. Alex Vasquez here with the last video in our series on human microbiome and dysbiosis in clinical disease. Today I will cover part 2 of gut-brain connection and microbiome-mind interactions. Part 1, I discussed the introduction and some structural concepts. I'll review a few of those again today. We'll talk about some specific gut-brain mechanisms again in this conversation, which is mostly going to focus on clinical implications and interventions. Then I'll conclude with a quick summary of perhaps some of the more important concepts. So the task today is actually quite large. I think that teaching and writing is generally pretty difficult. Good and excellent writing and teaching are even more difficult. And that is when we're talking about things that are well understood. So you can imagine the complexity of talking about things that aren't well understood, such as dysbiosis and neuroinflammation. And those, of course, will be the major topics for today. I've certainly done my due diligence in that I've read hundreds of articles on this topic, including essentially all of the major review papers. I'll talk about some of the better papers perhaps later in today's presentation. All of these have been published in leading journals, and not a single one of these articles has included all of the information that I'm going to cover today. As I state towards the bottom, the task of scientists is to discover facts and relationships. The task of intellectuals is to amalgamate all of that information into functional, comprehensible, and impactful models. To understand the role of neuroinflammation in dysbiosis-induced disease, one must first understand neuroinflammation. And then to understand, again, the role of neuroinflammation in dysbiosis-induced disease, one must understand dysbiosis. If you want to connect those two together, then I think we have the opportunity to gain some unique insights into common conditions, such as depression, anxiety, persistent pain, including, of course, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, and also complex regional pain syndrome. I'll talk about all of those today. So this is the second half of the gut-brain presentation. Let's talk about some of the main components of neuroinflammation. This includes